The greatest risk in life is not taking any risk at all. Risk taken is scary, but it can lead you to a lot of places. It can help you realize many things about yourself and your career that you could never have imagined if you stayed in your comfort zone. In this video, I will show you 9 risks worth taking in life. 1. Ending relationships with people you care about. When it comes to relationships with others, there's a saying that goes, "The heart wants what the heart wants." However, some links can cause more harm than good, and you need to let go of those relationships. But then, letting go is not a simple task. It can be long and tiring. Sometimes we're entirely sure that the relationship makes us miserable more often than they make us happy. We know in our hearts that the connections are not right, yet we still hold on tightly because we are scared of what the outcome would be if we let go. Although ending relationships is quite difficult, it is worth the risk if that relationship drains you more than it nourishes you. 2. Quitting a job. Did you know that Jeff Bezos left his well-paying job as a senior vice president at a hedge fund to start Amazon in his garage? Today, he is the richest man in the world. Well, I should also mention that he had an elite education and a highly marketable skill set to fall back on. He also had parents that provided security against ending up destitute and an investment in a startup of close to $250,000. The implication is that his risk was calculated with things to fall back on. There are times when your job becomes a hindrance to your pursuit of purpose, and other times when working with a particular organization is more of a curse than a blessing. In such cases, it is paramount to quit. Indeed, no matter how much you put in place, making up your mind to leave your high-paying job, especially when there is no other job yet, is a difficult decision to make. There is always this thought of, how do I survive? However, with the right calculations, even though it might be difficult at the start, it pays off in the long run. 3. Trying out new things. As fun and sweet as your comfort zone is, it is not the best place for growth. Treading unfamiliar and sometimes infamous grounds is undoubtedly frightening, but it is required if you must move forward in life. There is always an element of risk when you're trying something new. Starting a new activity like rock climbing or surfing can be scary at first, but a large part of the fun is overcoming that fear. The same goes for significant life changes. Being in a new place means that you're missing your social network, best friends, or family, but it means that you're gaining a fresh start. It can feel incredibly daunting to try and learn a new skill, but it pays off in the long run. Trying something new is no doubt creepy. There is a chance that things will not work out. Trust your mind always to remind you. Regardless of this fact, your quality of life hinges on the number of risks you take. It's impossible to do these incredible things without accepting a little bit of uncertainty and discomfort. Stop playing safe. 4. Failing. The downside of taking risks is that there is always a chance of failure. Otherwise, they would be known as sure things, not risks. Of course, failure remains the biggest obstacle for people to take those risks, but it shouldn't stop you. Legends have it that companies in Silicon Valley will often pass over their people for promotion to hire people who had started up companies that later went bankrupt. The reason for their choice is that they like the guts of people who will risk bankruptcy and failure. People often focus so much on success stories and what works that they overlook the unmentioned road of failure, challenges, errors, and mistakes that inevitably led to every single one of those success stories. The truth is that failure is inevitable in life, and everyone on the path to success must take the risk. 5. Taking responsibility. As kids, most people had the habit of covering up their wrong acts because they cannot risk taking the punishment attached to the crime they committed. This habit of dodging punishment for mistakes tends to follow them up until adulthood, making them run away from responsibilities at every instance. Indeed, owning up to your actions, especially if they are not pleasant, is quite difficult. Hence, most people would instead push the blame aside to other people and circumstances. But then, the fact about life is that when you can risk taking responsibility, both good and bad, for your past and present, you will be able to create the future you seek. When you blame others for what you're going through, you deny responsibility and perpetuate the problem. Stop giving your power away and start taking responsibility for your life. Blaming is just another sorry excuse, and making excuses is the first step towards both misery and failure. 6. Starting a conversation. Are there times where you had to practice the words you intended to say for days before muttering the courage to talk to someone? Have you tried to talk to someone and found that your hands are sweaty and shaky, and your heart feels like it will pop out of your chest? The truth is that some conversations are downright scary, especially when there are feelings involved, or when the other party has more authority than us. The fear of being rejected is a reason why we would rather risk it. But then again, if it is something that you will regret not doing later in life, then it is needful for you to walk up to the person in question and say your mind. Whether the conversation begins with "I'm sorry" or "I would love to propose," or "Do you want to be my friend?" make a move. Even if it means putting yourself out there, feeling uncomfortable, or facing a possible awkward silence, start the talk. After all, according to research, the greatest regrets of many people in their 80s is not being bold enough to talk to people they want to talk to when they had the chance. 7. Chasing dreams. How many people's goals have been squashed before they ever got off the ground? A whole lot. The statement that most people never take their dreams past the planning stage is sad, but true. No doubts, chasing your dreams comes with so many troubles, like loneliness, sleepless nights, going broke, being ridiculed, and even betrayals from close pals. You would have to fight many internal battles in many cases, like shutting that voice of doubt, motivating yourself to keep going despite the hurdles, and many others. However, chasing your dreams is a risk that is worth taking. The questions, what if I am on the wrong path? What if I can't achieve my desired results? Won't stop bugging your mind. But you must not let it deter you from your pursuit. To stay healthy while chasing your dreams, American author and poet Christopher James Gilbert, Chris Jammy, advises it's easier for one to take risks and to chase his dreams with a mindset that he has nothing to lose. In this lies the immense passion, the great advantage of avoiding a materialistic, pleasure-filled way of life. 8. Financial investment. The stock markets are full of ups and downs and uncertainty, but the payoff can be huge. Many experts will agree that failing to invest is riskier than not investing. While leaving your money in a savings account might ensure it doesn't lose much value in the short term, it won't gain many benefits either. In fact, due to inflation, you're likely to lose value over time. Investing thoughtfully, however, can allow you to grow your money at a much faster rate. Investing isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, but overall, it can pay off big time with smart decisions. American businessman and investor Warren Buffett once said, "Never depend on a single income. Invest and create a second source." 9. Falling in love. Love is a risk. In loving, you risk getting heartbroken, hurt, and betrayed. You also risk the security and stability in all that you've built up to protect yourself, suddenly being destroyed. Although love doesn't always work out, so it's scary to put your heart on the line when you find it. And it's right, you'll be glad you put yourself out there. As risky as it is, love is beautiful. It is a superb risk. There is nothing more fulfilling than sharing your life with someone you love. The sweetest part is that even though you get hurt, the memories of wonderful times spent with that one person lingers. At times, it hurts, but most times it is satisfying, knowing that you once felt that way. Love is the greatest gift of all. If you are willing to give a little of yourself, it will be worth it in the end. Risk is by nature risky, but not all risks are foolish. Now and then you will look back and realize that taking these risks was the best decision you ever made.